Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a very awesome episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. We got some very cool effect add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator, as well as what may have now just become the greatest commercial airliner simulation in Flight Simulator history. Stick around. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, folks, so first up, let's get right into what we've got here. We have the TrySim freeware TFX effects add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. That was a mouthful. So TrySim releases free effects add-on with fires, sparks, and more to add drama, this is quote unquote, to your spontaneous failures. I think this is actually kind of cool. There's some pros and cons to this and things that I don't like, but stick around, we'll find out. Okay, so supporting multiple different commercial airliners, what we have here is we have TFX includes a myriad of different effects, including fires, sparks, water splashes, and crash animations. This is available for both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024 and supports native and third-party aircraft like we were just discussing. So you got pretty much anybody you want that you can fly with. The TFX is going to be continuously updated with support for new effects and additional aircraft. TrySim have provided some dramatic looking screenshots on their webpage if you guys want to check that out. While it is a freeware product, if you would like to provide a donation, they do have that up on their Ko-Fi page. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of this. So, I reviewed a few of the shots on their website, and for the most part, they all have the same big, long, trailing flame coming out of the engine that we saw in the first picture. They do show a ground sparks effect, like if you were to do a belly land. My only issue with the engine fire is, from what I've seen so far, we're going to do a full review on it. We're going to test it out and see what it does. But is that it almost looks like an afterburner versus an engine fire. I think they've got the fire effects personally a little too accentuated, but it's a neat idea. At the same token, I'm kind of wondering what the controversy and blowback on this is going to be, given some of the aircraft incidences that have come to light. Now, I'm not someone who's going to rock the conspiracy theory and think that flight aviation is changing and it's this big horrible thing now. I think what's happened is over the years and as time has evolved, we have now social media. We have it is very, very easy to publicize a lot of the events that I think already happen. You know, when you look at the overall statistics of airline crashes and aviation crashes and accidents, the statistics haven't really changed. They've just become more public. And with everything else going on, I do also think if you want to walk sort of in the conspiracy road, that some of it's being publicized more to draw away attention from anything else. And again, that is not a red versus blue comment. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I think some of it was, hey, let's stop focusing on this, whether it's red or blue. I do not care, guys. I love you all no matter what. But anyway, so I'm kind of curious though, because of so many aviation incidences being so public now, how some people are going to react to the idea of recreating that in flight simulation. However, I do think it's a neat idea, especially if they add things like bird strikes. These are real world events. These things can happen, right? And so I think anything that creates, they sort of hit it right on the head, adds that drama aspect to an event that happens inside the simulator. Well, that could be a lot of fun. It could definitely, in the aspect of it's going to cause some excitement. It'll probably get your heart pumping a little bit more to hear, things actually going on, to, actually see, look out your window and see, wow, that engine is on fire and it's not supposed to be, right? So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will have a link to this product down in the description below if you guys want to test it out. Again, currently it is freeware and only asking for donations if you're able to. VATSIM is at it once again. It is now time for another one of their cross the world, cross the continents, cross the pond kind of events, and this time it is cross Africa. The various VATSIM VACCs have come together again to host and announce a new edition of the Cross Africa event. I don't remember Cross Africa ever happening before. They say it like, oh, never mind. This event will be the second edition of this year. Oh, never mind. And will be held... No, that makes it sound like, has Cross Africa happened before? Did I miss that? Anyway, I'll be down. Anyway, this is going to be happening on the 9th of August. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get on a tangent there. The event is in cooperation with VATSA, Maghreb, Egypt, Northeast Africa's VACC's VATSIM divisions, and will once again provide wide ATC coverage on the network for large parts of this vast continent. There ain't lying there. That's a lot of flight. This will be kind of fun. As in the past, many route options are expected to be possible. A varied list of airports are in play, allowing for a lot of different ways to cross all of the natural splendor Africa has to offer. Absolutely agree. So let's see what we have here. We have Tunisia, and if I pronounce any of these incorrectly, please forgive me. Cairo, Addis Ababa, Nairobi, Dakar, Espargos, Lagos, Accra, Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Mauritius. I don't think I've ever heard of that one before, gotta be honest. And as with all editions in the past, from these airports, you have the option to choose your preferred path across the continent. This allows for seeing all kinds of different scenery along the route and allows you to pick the flight duration you prefer, which I do really like the way they do that because, like, you know, a lot of us don't have the time to dedicate to very specific or required routes, so that makes it fun. You get to participate in the VATSIM event while keeping the flight time or overall operation time, I should say, within your constraints for that particular day. Again, this is August 9th of 2025 is when it's taken over. Even stopovers are possible as the booking system will allow you to make 2 bookings from different departure airports. That's kind of cool. FS Elite has also chosen to participate in this year's Cross Africa event, and I think this is pretty awesome. So make sure that you guys check that out. Again, a link to the booking page will be down in the description below if you guys are interested in signing up for that. It is a great way for the community to come together, and the only thing that I will tell you, there's a lot of mixed emotion when it comes to VATSIM, and I will say that yes, I have absolutely experienced my bad apples. I don't feel comfortable enough being live on VATSIM yet. I don't think I'm as good as many other people say that I am. People say I do fine, but just like anyone else, I get nervous with it. But I will say that yes, I've experienced a couple of bad apples on VATSIM, but 98% of the controllers that I've ever worked with are very cool, very kind, very welcoming, and understanding that everybody learns somewhere, right? So I would say you need to have a basic knowledge to be a part of this. You need to have some basic ideas on how to speak to ATC. I still stand firm on my belief that Beyond ATC is a perfect, completely AI software that you guys can use. It is very scripted in its responses, not to a dry point, but again, you will get the responses you would expect to hear from an air traffic controller. You know, a lot of people talk about other ones, you know, you be able to order a pizza or ask what the movie of the week is. Like, who's going to ask that at a busy airport? Like, that's just silly to me, so it's pointless. But anyway, I digress. So if you guys are interested in a cool tool to start training to talk to ATC, Beyond ATC, in my opinion, is one of the best training aids that is out there. All right, so new out of Just Flight. Okay, we have quite the tool here, and besides the one that you're listening to, you have Just Flight Fly the Line. This is the short haul edition. Now, Just Flight is very similar to that of a career mode, but it has a whole ton of different options, so bear with me. So first off, it's going to give you structure to your virtual flying. Okay, this is a utility that provides a career-driven experience, but the utility has many more options. And by the way, right out of the gate, this is compatible with all major simulators. 2020, 2024, X-Plane 12 and 11, P3D, and even FSX. Wow, couldn't even imagine someone still playing FSX, but I'm sure it's out there. This utility allows for users to enter into a career as a short-haul airline pilot where you will earn cash, XP, skill points, etc., and in addition giving you route generation, scheduling, and more. You have 3 primary modes. First, obviously, is the big one, the career mode. The career mode allows you to choose a hub to fly out of and use the utility to generate a route network. A weekly schedule can help you focus your flying by displaying your upcoming flights. The cash, XP, and skill points can be used to upgrade your lifestyle. Yes, I said lifestyle, so stick with me on this. Which can help you manage your personal life, your health, and fatigue. Additionally, you can fly any aircraft that you have, so you don't have to go out and buy any other kind of planes in order for this tool to be effective for you. You have a free play mode. In free play mode, it's just like the career, except you have limited access to resources and everything right out of the gate. So you don't have to worry about, grinding to the next step. And that's exactly what that mode is meant to do, is to remove anyone who doesn't feel like grinding to anything. And then finally, you have a schedule mode. Sorry, my 3D printer just went off. The schedule mode removes the career mechanics altogether and focuses on a schedule-based flying with no deadlines or quotas to meet. There appears to be a mode just about for any pilot that's out there, and I'm really impressed by this so far. It's going to give a whole different level of push to fly, if you will. The modes described above don't even scratch the surface, according to the article here, that included with this particular product, which, by the way, we will be doing a full review on of the channel, because this is very much so, in my opinion, like Neofly with quite a bit more realism, keeping it to the commercial aspect in that particular manner, while giving you some goals to work on outside of the simulation experience. For example, the apartment, the house, pimping out your ride, whatever it may be. So this is pretty slick. I'm pretty impressed by what I'm seeing so far. The highlights from it look very appealing to me. I think it's going to give a bigger drive to fly and give you more reward for it. The free play mode, me personally, I would advise against trying, and the only reason why I say that is because I would be worried that at a $40 cost for the software, that with the free play mode, there's nothing to earn, very limited to earn, because you're going to have everything up front, which again, it's going to be cool for a second, and then you're going to very quickly lose the appeal to use the product. And so that's another $40 down the drain. That's the only problem that I will give with softwares like this, is when they do things like that, is you're very quickly going to lose interest in it because you experienced everything far sooner than what quote unquote you should have. But that's just my personal thought. Let me know what you guys think of this product down below, and let's continue on to the next one. Finally, last up on the list is what has probably just become the greatest flight simulation commercial airliner representation in flight simulation history, and no, I'm not exaggerating. So first, let's make one thing perfectly clear, guys, in case you guys are wondering about the authenticity of what I'm saying here. I'm not an Airbus fan. Never have been. Okay? And it has nothing to do with the real-world aircraft. I'm just talking to simulation, because I think that the Boeing aircraft are busier for simulation. As far as in real world, as long as it gets me safely from point A to point B, I think it's a cool plane. Like, I literally do not care. I love them both in real life. But as far as simulating, I prefer Boeing, because, I feel like there's more to do. But Phoenix, holy crap. So first, I'm going to do my best to sort of just do a high-level overview of what this video has to offer, but I'm going to make sure to do a link to this video down in the description below, and I highly recommend you guys watch it. It's about 30 minutes long. I would recommend at least watching the first 15 minutes of it. I'll give the developer this, whoever made the video for Phoenix. They even say about the 15-minute mark, they said the rest of it's boring and drab, so you've been warned. He literally says that. I fucking love it. Pardon my language. But let's get into it. And I think it was actually Phoenix's CEO who did this one. So they are talking about the update being released Tuesday the 29th or Wednesday the 30th. Now, I had an update for my Phoenix that was massive that released yesterday the 28th, today being the 29th at the time it's recording. So I'm hoping that it's already out. I haven't had a chance to go through everything yet, but here's what we got right out of the gate. So first off, the highlights of this are you have native Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 support. Now, what does that mean? That means that the aircraft was basically completely rebuilt for 2024. It does not mean that it is a port. It does not mean that it was slightly modified to support 2024. It means that the coding and the structuring and overall design of the aircraft, including the graphics engine, was completely rewritten and redesigned for 2024. That is native support. So the performance of the aircraft in 2024 should be really outstanding. Okay, so now, the next thing that they have that I'm sort of talking as we go. You guys, again, I highly recommend you guys come and watch this video in its entirety. Next thing up, the walk around mode. Everything from the doors to cargo doors, to electrical hatches, fuel hatches, all around the aircraft, you name it. You can walk around, you can control it. And it's not just like a click, you know, like for example, the main doors, the entry doors, you have to open up the handle, obviously release the latching system, and then you also have to grab the door and open it. You actually have to drag it over. Now that may not sound like a huge thing, but it goes a long way, and just bear with me. On top of all these new features that come with it now, you also have the access to the EFB no matter where you go, so you don't have to be going back and forth to the cockpit or not. And again, I believe that they actually have a web version of the EFB where you can run it on an iPad or something as well. Now, moving forward, all of the electrical panels, like for example, we were talking about the fuel panel outside, it will function and behave as it would in the real aircraft, as can best be simulated within the limitations of the simulator itself. So you hit a button, XYZ lights are supposed to happen, you're going to see it happen. On top of that, an entirely new soundscape for just about the entire aircraft. Now, what that means is that that doesn't mean updated sounds. That doesn't mean newer sounds added. It means they've basically redone the entire soundscape to give you an entirely new aircraft, essentially, from the audio standpoint. Staying with audio for a second, they have literally gone around a limitation of the plane or of the simulator, and now you have dynamic sound. And what that means is, again, so coming back to, let's say that you're parked at the gate, the APU is running, this is the example they even used in the video, the APU is running but the doors are closed. You open the doors and you're going to hear that APU sound significantly lighter or louder, and it's going to sound like it's coming from the rear of the aircraft. And all of the sounds are like that. They are going to be dynamically changing based on your presentation to the aircraft and your orientation to the sound source. Okay? Awesome thing, right? Now, keep moving. We're not done yet. The other thing they did, which is should absolutely greatly enhance performance, is the level of detail rendering. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, one of the limitations, and actually I believe this is true beyond Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, one of the limitations is that, you know, when you have these really highly detailed cabins, right, the aircraft is rendered as a single image usually, right? It's rendered all at once. And so what they've done is they've created a dynamic rendering based on the distance to said texture. So meaning if you're up on the flight deck, there's no need to render the cabin at its maximum resolution or rendering ability, which frees up resources and then allows you to render things like the flight deck with even more detail or more performance overhead for your screens, your PFDs and nav displays and all the other stuff. They've done so much with that the performance itself should be absolutely incredible. On top of that, ground handling, landing, flight characteristics, loading, all of these dynamics and functionalities and laws have been adjusted and updated to further match the real-world aircraft, hence where we get into the most realistic and probably the best commercial airliner simulation that is currently on the market and has probably ever been seen in consumer history. If you guys go back and look at my channel for a search of the Phoenix, I don't fly it often. I really don't. So for me to be saying this, I hope you guys are really understanding where this is coming from. This is not me tooting the horn. Now, I have owned the Phoenix for a long time. I bought it when it first released, just like everybody else, but I was always more partial to the fly-by-wire. I don't know if it was just because it was my first A320 that I was flying, or if I just got so comfortable with it. I mean, there are some differences between Phoenix and the A3 and the fly-by-wire. I don't think it had anything to do with the flight model or anything like that being too difficult or anything like that. I never had any problem flying the Phoenix. I just always went with a fly-by-wire. I don't know why. And so coming from this, like, I will tell you right now that I have reinstalled the Phoenix. I have the latest update that released as of 7/28 for me, 2.4 something. I'll have to go back and look what the full thing is, and read through the changelog. And it was a massive changelog. That much I did catch. And I am going to be diving very deep into this thing, and I'm going to be diving very deep into it with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, because 2024 needs it, and 2024 needs something. 2024 needs something to hold on to, everybody, because in my personal opinion, 2024 is failing. And that's really heartbreaking, because I can only imagine it's only a matter of time before they lose support for 2020. But anyway, I don't think that's going to happen like tomorrow or anything, but, you know, you get my gist. And here's where they were talking about the soundscapes right here. But guys, watch this video. I don't want to talk anymore on this because I don't want to take away from the developers. I want their YouTube channel to get as much views as it can. A link to this will be down in the description. And I will tell you, if you are looking for the most advanced flight simulation commercial aircraft currently on the market today, and I think the most advanced that has ever been hit, grab the Phoenix A320. It just, I can't deny it. At least from an Airbus standpoint, I think it's going to destroy everybody. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys are just as pumped for this as I am. I cannot wait. We're going to be doing a full flight in this thing, and we're going to bust out all of the WingFlex gear. We're going to bust out the WingFlex full panel FCU, the MCDU, as well as their new radio management panel. And so we'll be doing a full flight in that. We'll also be using the Flight Sim Factory A320 Pro set, so that with the Bravo throttle quadrant, so we can really enhance the flight sim experience. And hell, we might even bust out the Sidekick flight stick from Moses. So it should be a full Airbus experience. I hope you guys look forward to that. Stay tuned for more information as the week goes on. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.